A tragic workplace accident has shaken the small Danish town of Flemlos. On July 3rd, a roof structure collapsed into a silo at the Flemlos biogas plant, killing 3 people who were working on site. It was a harrowing scene that met emergency responders as they entered the silo at Flemlos biogas. Among the first on site was emergency physician Dr. Peter Martin Hansen, a seasoned doctor no stranger to tragedy. Dr. Hansen was also part of the rescue operation following the 2019 Great Belt train disaster, where 8 people lost their lives. At Flemlos biogas, 3 workers tragically died in what has become one of the most serious workplace accidents in Denmark's construction and engineering sector in recent times. Hand on heart, I can say that none of those who died could have been saved, not even with the combined efforts of the entire response team. No matter what we did, Dr. Hansen told Fagbladet 3F, but the rescue effort faced additional challenges. Rescue personnel initially did not know exactly how many people were injured. There was uncertainty about how many workers had actually been inside the silo when the accident happened. It's not insignificant for us to know whether we're searching for 15 or 9 people, Dr. Hansen explained. An official report evaluating the rescue operation, which Dr. Hansen contributed to, highlights a critical discrepancy. The owner of the biogas plant gave a higher number of presumed workers on site than the company that had employed the crew. The developer, Flemlos Biogas, however, disputes that this confusion delayed rescue efforts. It was chaotic, a representative said, but denied that uncertainty about the number of injured workers had impacted the emergency response. A local doctor called in to assist revealed horrifying details. The injuries were catastrophic, the doctor said. There was no chance of survival. Kurt Poulsen, owner and director of Flemlos Biogas, also shared his first-hand experience. I was at the accident site all night. We used the RUT registry to identify everyone on the site, and their pictures were displayed inside the incident commander's vehicle, Poulsen said. He admitted arriving about an hour and a half after the collapse and acknowledged the situation was chaotic. The leader of the casting team was one of those who died, he added solemnly. In total, 9 migrant workers were involved in the accident. Sadly, 3 lost their lives. Most studies show that migrant workers have a more demanding working environment than non-migrant workers. This applies to the risk of accidents, musculoskeletal pain, long working hours, and psychosocial stress. Source: Fagbladet 3, on the harsh reality of migrant workers' working conditions in Denmark. Recent literature study from 2020 by the Danish Working Environment Authority has revealed troubling insights into the working environment of migrant workers in Denmark. The report, titled Migrant Arbeideres Arbejdsmiljø og Metoder til Overvågning og Regulering heraf, outlines how migrant workers face harsher working conditions than native workers, increasing risks to their safety and well-being, higher risks and demanding conditions. According to the report, migrant workers generally experience increased risk of workplace accidents. Many migrant workers lack adequate safety training, face language barriers, and are employed on temporary or subcontracted contracts, all of which contribute to a higher incidence of accidents. Longer working hours. Migrant workers often endure extended hours, sometimes beyond legal limits, leading to fatigue and reduced safety. Physically demanding labor. The jobs are often manual and strenuous, involving heavy lifting and repetitive motions that increase musculoskeletal problems. Psychosocial stress. Job insecurity, social isolation, and fear of retaliation contribute to mental strain, which may further increase accident risks. The hidden challenges. The study highlights how language barriers and cultural differences impede effective communication about safety procedures. Migrant workers' fear of reporting unsafe conditions due to potential job loss or deportation means many hazardous situations go unaddressed. Migrant workers tend to be concentrated in sectors with high accident rates such as construction, manufacturing, and agriculture. Their precarious employment situations make them more vulnerable to exploitation and unsafe practices. Challenges in monitoring and regulation. The report points out that monitoring migrant workers' working conditions is complicated by the widespread use of subcontractors and temporary employment contracts. Difficulties in gathering systematic data on migrant workers' conditions. Traditional workplace inspections often miss migrant workers because of language and cultural barriers. Limited use of existing registries that could help identify workers on site. Recommendations for improvement. To address these issues, the report recommends developing multilingual, culturally sensitive safety training tailored for migrant workers. Improving communication methods, such as using interpreters and visual aids. Strengthening workplace inspections, especially in industries with high migrant employment. Encouraging migrant worker involvement in safety committees without fear of retaliation. Collecting better data on migrant workers to guide policy and enforcement. Supporting psychosocial services and integration programs to reduce stress and vulnerability. Piloting innovative approaches to workplace safety and evaluating their effectiveness. Conclusion. The literature study by Helga and Anders Buch reveals a pressing need for improved working conditions and stronger regulatory frameworks to protect migrant workers in Denmark. Ensuring safer and more equitable workplaces is not only a legal obligation, but also a moral imperative that benefits all workers. Subscribe for more in-depth reports and real-life stories from the front lines of Denmark's workplaces. This tragic accident at Flemlos Biogas is a stark reminder of the risks faced by workers in the construction and engineering sectors and the vital importance of clear communication during emergencies. Let us know what you think in the comments.